Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam, I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and today's video is going to be another client story time. This one's going to be a little different though, because this one I am taking full responsibility for. I just feel like as hairstylists or anyone in the service industry, you're gonna have mess ups and you're gonna have times where a client leaves unhappy, and sometimes it really isn't your fault. Sometimes they have unrealistic expectations, sometimes they're just trying to get a discount or get free hair or whatever, but sometimes it really is our fault, and when it is, you gotta own up to it. By the way, if I sound kind of nasally or congested, my allergies are so bad today. I took allergy medicine. I don't know what else to do. And I just really needed to film today, so I'm sorry if that bothers you. Anyway, this story took place at the first salon that I worked at right out of beauty school. So when this story occurred, I was maybe 2 months out of school. I was still like very, very new. And I feel like a lot of the times when you're a new stylist, like you're a little naive, you feel a little more optimistic, you are more eager to like please your client and like prove yourself to them. I feel like in general, I'm kind of a people pleaser. Like obviously, you know, we want our clients to be happy and we want to give them the hair that they want, but sometimes what they're asking for is not necessarily achievable, or we can't guarantee it. Now I've learned when to say no or not to like over promise anything. But at the time that this happened, I didn't learn that lesson yet. So she came in, sat down in my chair, and we started doing our consultation, and immediately looking at her, she had a lot of hair. I want to say it probably went down like a little bit past her boobs. It was pretty long and it was very thick. Like she had a lot of hair. And the ends of her hair were already lightened. So I want to say she had maybe like this much hair just on the ends that were blonde, but it wasn't like a toned pretty blonde. You could tell it was done a long time ago and hadn't been maintained. It was just very yellow and brassy, and then all the rest of her hair was very, very dark. So she told me that she had came to the exact same salon where I worked a year prior, and she had a blonde bob with dark roots, and she hadn't done anything to her hair since then. She was just letting it grow out, and she wanted to chop it all off back into a bob and have it be blonde again with the dark root. Like she wanted the exact same thing that she had done a year ago. And she was showing me photos of what her hair looked like when it was freshly done, and it was pretty light. A really nice, pretty light blonde with a dark root. It looked like it was just her natural color at the root. And according to her, when she came in to get her hair done a year ago, it was all super dark. It was just her natural virgin hair, no color in it. And that super light blonde color was done in one day, in one session. Normally, when someone has super dark hair and they want to be really blonde that same day, most hairstylists would tell them, that's most likely not gonna happen. You know, we're gonna have to do it slowly in the sessions. But me being like naive, gullible, and wanting to just please, I figured, well, she's telling me that this was achieved in one session a year ago. It was at the same salon. I know they were using the same product, so if it was done in the past, why can't I do it again today? And now I'm not trying to say that if you have dark hair, you absolutely by no circumstances can get really blonde in one session. It totally can happen, but you just shouldn't like automatically assume that it's gonna happen or that it's gonna be a really easy process. So anyway, I was just super excited. I was like, all right, that sounds great. She told me the length that she wanted her haircut. That was pretty much the extent of our consultation. It was maybe 2 minutes. I first just kind of like rough cut her hair. That's what I always do. If someone wants to cut off a lot of length and they also want to do color, I always start by just chopping off all of that excess hair first, because I don't want to waste product and waste time, you know, obviously lightening hair that's just going to end up getting cut off. So I cut her hair a little bit below where she wanted it to be, so that way I could clean up the cut later. And then I mixed up my lightener, And then I just started going piece by piece, section by section. She didn't really want like a balayage with dimension. She wanted like a solid blonde with just a dark root. So I'm doing every single piece of her hair and just leaving the roots out. And then eventually her hair got to a point where it just looked like it wasn't going to lift anymore. It was pretty much done at that point. So I brought her back to the sink. I took out her foils. I'm rinsing out her hair. And I do notice that her hair isn't quite as light as what she wanted and as the photo was that she showed me. Like I said, the hair that she had showed me in the photo of her from a year ago was like a level 9. She lifted to about a level 8, but it was just still very gold. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go mix up my toner. Hopefully that'll cancel out some of this brassiness. So I'm applying the toner to her hair, and literally as soon as I'm done applying it, she goes, how much longer is this gonna be? Because I need to be to work at 3:30. Mind you, it was 3 o'clock at this point. So she needed to be at work in 30 minutes. So she has this toner on her hair that needs to sit on there for at least another 10 minutes. Then I need to do her haircut and then blow dry her. And then she needs to drive to work. Like, there's just no way that is physically impossible. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I wish I had known that sooner, but you know, this still needs to sit for a few more minutes, and then I need to do your haircut and all that. Is there any way that you could call your job and just let them know you're gonna be a little bit late? So she called her job, and that bought us a little bit more time, but not much. So at this point, I'm kind of panicking because I'm like, oh my God, first of all, her hair didn't get as light as I promised her. Second of all, I have less time now. She's gonna be running late. So now I feel like I need to rush through the rest of this service so I can hurry up and like get her out of here so she's not crazy late to work. I'm pretty sure I ended up rinsing the toner off a little bit sooner than I should have, just because I was rushing. And because her hair was already like way too gold, rinsing that toner off too early didn't help the situation. So I bring her over to the chair, I do her haircut, blow dry her, and I think because she was in a rush to just get out of there and head to work, she wasn't really like looking at her hair too much, so there was no issue. She seemed happy, everything was good, she paid, she tipped me. I didn't have any time, obviously, to take any after photos. I'm gonna look online and try to find some photos of hair color that is similar to what her hair had looked like after I finished it, just to give you guys a visual idea of what I'm talking about. I didn't fry her hair off. It wasn't super damaged. It wasn't like patchy or stripy or blotchy or uneven or anything like that. As far as the application goes, I did a good job. I mean, everything was fine. And it wasn't the most hideous color ever. I mean, there's tons of people that want that color specifically, but it is not what she wanted, it's not what she asked for, and it's not what I promised her, so it's not what she was expecting. So she ended up calling the salon the next day. She was very unhappy. She wanted to come in and get it fixed. I don't know exactly what she had said because I never got the chance to talk to her about it. I was actually very booked the rest of that week, and I guess my boss just wanted to like get her in as soon as possible and fix it so that she wasn't unhappy and going and like writing negative reviews or anything. So I didn't end up getting the opportunity to redo her hair. My boss did it for her. And this is a photo of what the final product of her hair was. So looking back now, I really question if she originally really did get that blonde in just one appointment. And I remember talking to my boss about it at the time, and she was like, I think I remember that girl, and I'm pretty sure that we did lighten her a few times. Like, I really don't think that that was done just in one day. So I don't know, maybe she was lying to me or stretching the truth a little bit, or maybe just wasn't remembering correctly. Or maybe she was telling the truth. I mean, you never know. Our hair changes. There's different things that can affect how your hair takes to color and how it lightens. You know, hormonal changes, your water, the products you're using, if she's taking any kind of medications or vitamins or whatever. So I don't know. I don't want to make any assumptions. So where did I go wrong? How did I mess up? And what should I have done differently? Really, it just comes down to I did not do a good enough consultation, and I overpromised something that I shouldn't have. Something that I realized I did a lot at the beginning of my career as a hairstylist is I was just so in my head, and when someone would come in, especially for color, I would just be so focused on like looking at their hair and trying to figure out, how am I gonna apply this? What technique am I gonna use? What volume developer am I gonna do? I was just so up here and like panicking in my brain that I wasn't really like connecting with the client. I wasn't really listening to them, and I wasn't asking the right questions, and I wasn't seeing it from the client's perspective. On top of that, like I said earlier, I just wanted to please everyone. I wanted to really prove myself. I never wanted to say no or turn someone away or disappoint them or tell them that what they wanted wasn't achievable. And I think it was like for my own pride, but also because I didn't want them to then go to another stylist. You know, I was trying to build my book, I was trying to get clients, and so I wanted to just make everyone happy. And that's not the best way to go about it, because what you're gonna end up doing is disappointing a lot of people. They're gonna think that you suck, that you're a liar, that you don't know what you're doing, because you are promising them results that you're not delivering. So I've learned that it is actually better to kind of keep their expectations a little bit lower and over deliver than to overpromise them in the beginning and then underdeliver, if that makes sense. Oh my God, I'm so nasally right now. And I feel like that creates more trust with your clients as well. And they're more likely to come back to you because you're being honest, you care about the integrity of their hair. So I also should have asked her how much time she had. I do feel like that's something that the receptionist should do when booking the appointment. In my mind, as an inexperienced stylist, first of all, I wasn't even thinking about timing or the fact that she might need to go somewhere. But as stylists, we need to remember that clients aren't always aware of how long these things are gonna take. I shouldn't have made any assumptions and thought like, oh, well, if this was done last year in one session, then I can do it now, because she could have been lying. She could have been stretching the truth or misremembering, or, you know, something could have changed. I should have just like slowed down, took a deep breath, really went with my knowledge, my training. Always go with your gut instinct, even if the client is insisting, oh, no, I've had this done before, it was no problem. You know better than they do. You're the one that went to school and got the education to do this. You're the one that understands color. And like I keep saying, I should have under-promised rather than over-promising her. Also, when I was done with her color and blowing her out and I noticed that it wasn't what I had promised her, I should have just been honest and upfront right away, and I should have asked her to come back another day to do another session. You should always own up to that. You should always be honest with your client, and if they don't have time for you to fix it right there and then, you should ask them to come back and you should fix it as soon as possible. By letting a client leave with hair that either you're unhappy with or they're unhappy with, it's just gonna leave a bad taste in their mouth. They could go and leave a negative review. They're most likely not gonna come back to you. And that's just not good business practice. That's not a good way to build your clientele. So yes, I cannot stress enough the importance of taking your time and doing a really thorough consultation, especially when it's a new client and when it's color. If you guys would like a video on how I do my consultations now, let me know. It's something that I'm constantly working on. Of all the times that I've had a client unhappy at the end of the service, at least like 97% of the time, it was because I didn't do a good enough consultation. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a little something from it. If you like storytime videos and you would like to see more of them, let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification before you go. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.